Good morning. My name is Dave Benson, and I'm based at Malyon Theological College and also the Millis Institute. And my big question today is this: what is education for? What is the story of education's end? As Neil Postman said, without a narrative, life has no meaning. And without meaning, learning has no purpose. And without a purpose, schools are houses of detention, not attention. So what narrative animates education today? I mean, if education was a trek, you're on a journey somewhere, then where is it actually headed? Now, back in the year 2000, a much younger version of me was a third-year PE teacher in a mining community. And somehow I ended up as HOD during a statewide curriculum rewrite. So imagine this 23-year-old poring over abstract curriculum documents from central office, trying to form a balanced program. I mean, what were all these objectives about? And what kind of human being would they produce anyway? So I painstakingly went through previous syllabi. I aligned them with the latest curricular vision. Ironically, though, less than a year later, a government change spurred a brand new curriculum. A whole new set of coded objectives, and I had to restart the whole process from scratch. Where was education going at that time? Well, with Australian curriculum changes abounding today, you might be wondering exactly the same thing. So here's a very short gift of 20 seconds to reflect on this question: what is education for? Stimulated by Lunix cartoon and a Simple Minds song, Reflect Away. Now, I know that that's highly cynical, but that is certainly how it seemed to me. It seemed to me that Education Queensland at the time was telling a story of progress through linear curriculum development. And the metaphor was industrial. Education is a factory. Curriculum was the assembly line instructions for automatic advancement, specifying desired outcomes for the learner. And I'd been through a corporate restructure, but instead of recalling the product, we simply freshened up the labeling. Now, as Christian educators, we must seek more faithful metaphors. We need to tell more compelling stories. Images are so powerful, and I believe that ACARA offers far more than a factory. But even the best secular curriculum will not deliver a transcendent purpose. So how about we exchange metaphors? From product manufacture to Ben-Hur. You may not know, but curriculum was originally the course a chariot would follow. And curare, a verb, was the running of the race. Or take curriculum vitae. Curriculum was the meandering course of your life. It was the way you would walk and where your journey was headed. So what if we read the biblical story as God's curriculum? God's curriculum that educes and calls us out to somewhere different. That it's the road to shalom, where we walk 6 stages with one telos. Holistic flourishing through loving God, loving our neighbor as ourselves, and lovingly gardening God's planet. How might your subjects look different from this perspective of pilgrimage? Well, let's retrace our journey. Stage 1, creation. We were infants in Eden. We were making shalom as we learned about the duty and delight of work, and we were called to cultivate God's garden. So what would happen if you reimagined geography as working creatively to sustain our world, where teachers are called to awaken wonder in pilgrims, helping them steward the gift of creation? Then stage 2, the fall. As toddlers, we believed a lie in the garden, and we threw a tantrum at Babel. We broke shalom. God focused our attention on the promise and the peril of knowledge, and He called us to repent over the prideful towers that we build. So what would happen if you reimagined science as humbly evaluating what and how we know? Teachers then are called to support pilgrims in discovering the nature of the world, to critically see human bias and to embrace the dynamics of trust. Or stage 3, Israel. The children of Abraham, as wanderers seeking shalom, they learned about obedience to the way of wisdom. They were called to bless from the tent. So reimagine teaching history as wisely discerning the path to holistic flourishing, where teachers train pilgrims to bridge the contested stories of our past with a preferred vision of a peaceful future, seeking a way of growth in the present. Or stage 4, Jesus. The teacher himself stepped in to model what it means to be human. And through Jesus' example and his sacrifice, God was saving shalom. And we're like adolescents with a real choice to make. So we learned about reciprocity, that's the curriculum. And the curare, the pedagogy, is called to love on the mountain of crucifixion. So imagine teaching ACARA's civics and citizenship as caring for your neighbour. Imagine teaching it where teachers model to pilgrims the way of the cross, how to preserve difference and how to foster harmony through self-giving that serves the common good. Or stage 5, the church. Through the Spirit, God unites enemies at the table of friendship to embrace shalom. And we're like emerging adults in that upper room at Pentecost. We learned about the responsibility of holiness to sustain this community. We were called to reconcile in the house. So reimagine teaching English as forming virtues to coexist with diverse others, where teachers inspire pilgrims to wrestle with the meaning of life. They reflect upon diverse sacred stories that are at play in their local context. The classroom then becomes a training ground for peacefully living together in a pluralistic society. Or stage 6, new creation. We're invited into full maturity. We enter shalom in God's presence. And we've got our feet set toward the destination. We learn about hope, and we're called to worship in the Garden City. So reimagine every subject that you guys teach as fostering holistic integration, where teachers invite and educe pilgrims through creative and reflective practices to anticipate the song of a mixed multitude praising God. Reimagining education as a journey towards shalom can animate our schools, our syllabi, and even our classroom teaching, come what curriculum may. And in the process, I'm proclaiming that we might transcend our road to nowhere. And I believe it can be replaced with another song, which was number 1 when I started high school. It's a call to walk with purpose. Bless you guys and journey on.